if you're part of that organization, and I think Jesus loves you the same way I love you. So getting back to these quotes, the greatest pro-life quotes of all time, just heard from Mother Teresa. Now the next one is really interesting. This is number 6. It says, "This is a debate about our understanding of human dignity, what it means to be a member of the human family, even though tiny, powerless, and unwanted." And this is from Henry Hyde. Now I'm going to tell you straight up, I don't know who Henry Hyde is, but if he was arguing pro-life here, I tell you, Henry Hyde's my brother. He's a guy that I want to be hanging around with. He's the kind of person that I want to, have in my life. And if you know who Henry Hyde is, go to my website and let me know. www.malonegreg.com, and you can get a hold of me there. Contact me in multiple ways. You can get me on Twitter, you can get me on YouTube, you can get me on Facebook, you can get me on SoundCloud, you can get me on Spreaker. I mean, I can go on and on and on with the social networks that I'm now part of, and being able to minister and reach out to more and more people. Like I said, the show is becoming more and more popular. I thank God for that, and we're getting many listeners on Spreaker alone. That's just one of the sites where I have statistics. It shows 1,500 unique listeners to this show, and over getting close to 2,000 listens of people who actually have clicked on my shows and listened to at least part of the show. Now, they don't always listen to the whole thing, and I understand that. People get busy, they don't like what I'm saying, they don't like how I sound, whatever. But because I do that myself, I'm discriminated on what I listen to and what seems to be interesting to me. I also, discriminate, so I don't have a problem with that. That's how we are as humans. Number 7 of the 15 greatest pro-life quotes of all time. "It seems to me clear as daylight that abortion would be a crime." Now, who do you think would say something like this? None other than Gandhi, the leader of I can't think of the name of the country, big country, billion people in it, India. I did remember. I just had a senior moment there. I hope some of you can understand that. But anyway, Gandhi, here's this man who's not a Christian. He's I don't know what religion exactly he practiced. I know he wore robes. I don't know if it was Buddhism or anything like that. But he definitely was on the right track. That it's clear as day that abortion is a crime, and there's just no two ways about it. Let me tell you, my argument that Jesus Christ was Jesus Christ, the very Son of God, at the moment of conception. He was God, immortal, eternal, in the womb of Mary, his mother, at the moment of conception. And if he would have been killed any time after that during the pregnancy, they would have been killing the Son of God in the womb. So it really was Jesus from the very moment of conception. That means your baby, your grandchild, your niece, your nephew is a real live human being growing in that young lady's womb, and that child needs to be protected. I'm telling you right now, if you know of a family member or a friend that is contemplating abortion, drop what you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. Drop what you're doing and get with them. Get on the phone. Go visit them face to face, better yet, and plead for the life of that child. And I'm telling you that you will get a reward for doing this from God by saving someone who has been condemned to death. If you know somebody who's even contemplating or is in a stressful pregnancy situation, get with them. There are so many groups out there that will take in unwed mothers in crisis pregnancy situations. They'll take them in for free. They'll feed them. They'll clothe them. They'll take care of them and their babies. They'll give them prenatal, postnatal care, free of charge. They will even help them get on their feet and find ways to support themselves. I mean, there are ways that these young ladies and women can take care of these babies. And they don't need to be killed. And so I make an impassioned plea to you out there. If you know of someone in this situation, stop what you're doing right now. Drop it right to the floor and get with this person. Get in your car. Drive there. See them face to face. Call them on the phone. Talk to them. Pray with them. Plead with them not to kill the baby, because the abortion people are going to tell them, oh, it's just an unwanted pregnancy. They're going to talk about the pregnancy and about their bodies and about themselves. They're not going to talk about the baby. But when you start talking about the baby to these mothers, they start thinking about the baby. And if you ask most Americans, would they see it as a right thing to kill a baby in the womb? Most Americans say no. But then when you argue on the other side, on the pro-abortion side of the argument, if you ask them, is it okay to end a pregnancy? Well, yeah, it's a woman's choice. It's her right to choose because it's her pregnancy. It's something that it's living inside of her. It's an actual parasite. Some people even term it as a sexually transmitted disease. That is what is in them. So, this other side of the perverted side of this argument is just totally perverse. I can't think of another word to even describe it, but I digress on my 15 greatest pro-life quotes. So I'm going to get back to that. Now, the next one is number 8. We're all human, aren't we? Every human life is worth the same and worth saving. That was from J.K. Rowling, famous author. And he says we're all human, aren't we? Every human life is worth the same and worth saving. That baby in that mother's womb, or in your child, or daughters, or nieces, or not nephew, but any young lady that you know that is found herself pregnant, maybe in a difficult situation, maybe very young, maybe through rape, maybe through incest, maybe through who knows what the reason for it is. You need to go and plead for that baby's life and save that weak and defenseless baby from destruction. Moving on down through our 15 greatest pro-life quotes of all time is number 9. The right to life is the first among human rights. That came from Pope Francis. So we see the Pope obviously is pro-life. He has been, the popes traditionally throughout the ages have been pro-life, and I applaud them for doing so. I do not agree with their position and what they purport to be, but I do thank them for defending the defenseless, the lives of babies prior to their exiting the birth canal. And the most dangerous place for a baby to be in the United States is in its mother's womb, because the chances of it being killed at that point are much higher than of dying after birth. Do you know that only 19% of all, or 19 abortions out of every 1,000 pregnancies end by abortion? So out of every 1,000 pregnancies, 19 of them end in abortion. The percentage is very low, but it's still much higher than the mortality rates once the child is born. So like I said, the most dangerous place for a baby to be is within its mother's womb prior to being born. And number 10, this is being pregnant was very much like falling in love. You are so open. You are so overjoyed. There is no words that can express having a baby growing inside of you. So, of course, you want to scream it out and tell everyone. And that's from Beyonce. And she's talking about her little baby, and they have a picture of Beyonce with her little baby, cute as can be. And she, of course, is as beautiful as can be also. God has blessed her with physical beauty and blessed this baby, obviously, with physical beauty. And so it's just it's kind of a neat thing. Here she's speaking out. Pro-life, Beyonce. And she said hearing her unborn baby's heartbeat was the most beautiful music I ever heard in my life. Now this again is coming from Beyonce. She's a musician. She knows good music when she hears it, and hearing her unborn baby's heartbeat, again, she stated was the most beautiful music that she'd ever heard in her life. I applaud you, Beyonce. You are a life-affirming and life-giving person, and I applaud you for that. I know she's not perfect, but neither are you, so stop it. Number 12. It's all right, all of us living saying, "Oh well, there's enough of us, so we won't have any more. Don't let anybody else live." I don't believe that. So this person says it's all right, all of us living saying, "Oh well, there's enough of us, so we won't have any more. Don't let anybody else live." I don't believe that. That was from none other than John Lennon. And he stated that, there's no sense in killing these unborn babies. And I know he wasn't just talking about that. Back during the 60s and the 70s, I don't know if some of you remember those times. I certainly do, which tells a little bit about my age. But during that period of time, there was this huge crisis over the burgeoning populace of the world, and that the world was going to end because there'd be so many people that will use up all the resources, and we'll just tear it up and we'll destroy it. So let's have zero population growth. I don't know if any of you remember that, but it was very popular during that time, and so I know John was speaking about that, but it can also be applied to pro-life quotes. Number 13. The fight for the right to life is not the cause of a special few, but the cause of every man, woman, and child who cares not only about his or her own family, but the whole family of man. And that was from Dr. Mildred Jefferson. And Mildred, I don't know who you are, but again, you're my kind of peeps, and I love you for it. And you are, right on when you said it's the cause of every man, woman, and child who cares not only about his or her own family, but the whole family of man. If you have teen daughters or sons, and they're going to public school and they hear of somebody who's gotten pregnant, instruct them to go to that person and offer help. And it doesn't necessarily got to come out of your pocket. You can refer them to some of these organizations that help save the lives of these little babies. And instruct your teens to be able to talk to other people and to help them save lives. You, as a parent, can do something, even within your children's school, to save lives of babies that would otherwise be aborted. Once you start talking about the live little baby in a mother's womb, their attitudes and ideas change most of the time. And it keeps these babies from a trash waste can in some abortionist office. Here's another one. Number 14. We're getting close to the end. Sweeter even than to have had the joy of children of my own has it been for me to help bring about a better state of things for mothers generally, so that their unborn little ones could not be willed away from them. So this is from Susan B. Anthony. Now, some of you that studied history know who Susan B. Anthony is. And I would just like to challenge you. Check her out. She's a pretty neat person in American history. And then number 15, the very last one, is I do not believe the promises of the Declaration of Independence are just for the strong, the independent, the healthy. They are for everyone, including unborn children. And that's from George W. Bush. Now, when I say that name, most liberals and Democrats cringe. And I'm sorry if you're among that ilk that cringe, because a lot of you don't like George W. Bush. But he did a lot of things and said a lot of things that I think were appropriate. Now, he was the president during a very extraordinary time, very difficult time. I do not agree with the money that he put us in debt with. Obviously, I think that leads us into slavery, and that's what's happening today.